Hey, say man, today's project I am going to try to take the water pump off this here John Deere tractor. Water pump's been going bad for quite some time, as can be told by wobbling that fan. And I actually bought the kit about 2 years ago, and I said, well, I need to change that old water pump. But the damn thing has never leaked. I've just kept driving it. So if there's a one-word term for glutton for punishment, that'd be the name of this tractor. Because as many things have gone wrong with this tractor and that don't work with it, it just keeps starting up and running. 3-point hitch hangs up. The PTO clutch has never worked. It grinds when you put it in gear. Tires have never held air. But the damn thing is, you pump air into it and you crank her up and she'll go work her ass off for you. But anyways, let's try to get this water pump off, see if there's any chance we can rebuild it. Got the water pump out. Actually took it out with the fan. Had to take the radiator to get out of the way. And one little stud right down here kept me from being able to pull the water pump and leave the radiator in. That's okay. I got a chance to clean all this crap out. Maybe even break down and replace the fan belt. Part number on the water pump. Found me a tag. I'll definitely write that number down in a book. I want to take notice that this pulley on the shaft is flush, or maybe a hair less than flush, or I'd just write down flush minus. So it means it's flush. If anything, it's going to the negative. But... Whoa, wrong damn way, Kevin. Pull your head out of your ass. All right, I got my water pump in the press. Got a pipe underneath it. The bearing and shaft should press through this way. Got me a little bit of a bolt in here that I'm going to press against. I'm probably going to, once I get it in, I'll probably raise it up and put a longer bolt in there to press it all the way through. It's gonna go flying. My little old piece of pipe is crushing. I gotta go find me another piece of pipe. Okay, she's completely apart. This is my new shaft. This is my new mechanical seal. This is what's left of the old mechanical seal, this and this. Peel it apart, it's in really bad shape. It's remarkable that this water pump didn't leak. So I've got to clean everything out, clean the bore, and I'll have to start pressing it back together. So far I'm impressed with how everything looks. I thought for sure as long as I let that thing wobble, I would have tore my housing apart. Okay, I put in the press and I press the bearing into the housing. It says flush to 5 thousandths, extending above the edge of the housing. It's flush. You should use something to drop down here and push with the race. Don't push with the shaft. All right. Next thing I need to do is I need to drive this seal onto this shaft. It's a press fit onto the shaft. This seal driver comes with it, and the shoulder inside the seal driver puts the seal where it needs to be properly, puts the seal where it needs to be on the shaft. That's pretty critical to get your, have your mechanical seal actually do its job and seal. I got a support, set the pump with it on this shaft end, resting, I'll probably rest right here on the corner of this table. and drive this on. So that way I'm driving on the shaft and not on the bearing. Kind of messy in here. Oh well. I got a lot of projects. I don't know if you notice. Some of my projects are waiting for parts. All right. That thud tells me I'm bottomed out. Take my fingernail, stick it on the edge of the seal, the exterior, and see if it's close to the housing. It's pretty darn close. I'll give it a couple love taps just to make sure. So that seal should be set at its proper location. This seal is one unit. Some seals come in pieces to where this inner piece presses in to the housing. In that case, you'd support the housing and that instead of the shaft. But this seal, it specifically says to support the shaft on the bottom end, because I guess most of the force will be a press fit on the shaft. This piece right in here is pressed to the shaft. And this presses into the housing lightly. So I just want to make that clear. But there's no other pieces to this particular seal. Sometimes there'll be a couple spacers that go on here. Bottom of the water pump, when I had it apart, what I did is I wire brushed the pump, and then I spray cleaned it with a brake cleaner, and I flushed out the weep hole. The weep hole is if water were to bypass the seal, that way it will drip out instead of building up inside and damaging the bearing. All right, it's pressed back in. I've got clearance between my straight edge and my impeller. My impeller turns freely. It's not rubbing the housing. And the bearing race is flush on the front end. So everything is where it needs to be. Hey there, I got the water pump back in. Everything's looking good. I ran it and checked for leaks, and I let it sit overnight and checked it again, and everything's looking great. You can tell I gave her a bath. Everything's looking good. I didn't mention in the video, I'm surprised that I didn't mention it, but when I pressed the hub on, I supported the shaft on the impeller end with a bolt so that all the force was being put on the shaft and not on the bearings. Anyway, she's done. She runs good and looks good. I thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and tell your friends about it. We'll be doing a bunch of different mechanicing videos. I've got about 35 years experience as a mechanic, and I've worked anywhere. Well, I've self-employed most of the time, had a couple businesses. Hydraulics, I had a real nice hydraulic shop, and I've worked in industrial plants. I've got electrical experience, mechanical hydraulics, engines, you name it. I tried, throughout my life, I tried to be diversified. I don't like doing the same thing all the time. So I think that makes me uniquely qualified to shoot a series of videos that are very diverse, and I think you'll enjoy them.